If you had data to scroll through the internet and social media this week, honestly, you don't know what the Lord has done, because this week was a whole lot. From relationship gist to celebrity wahala, from global wins to African stars, to the stories that made people pause and ask very serious questions. This week did not just come to play at all. So if you missed any of the stories that trended during the week, don't even bother, don't even stress yourself, because that is the major reason why I am here, to give you the full gist. So you'll be getting gist about VEEKEE James' pregnancy announcement, then the Oshiomhole's private jet video drama. Did you see that? Then we'll now move to TYLA's big Grammy award, her win, and then FELA's honor too. So the sad loss of soprano IFUNANYA NWANGENE, and that very heavy story out of KWARA State and KATSINA, where nearly 200 people were killed by gunmen. So that is how I welcome you to this week's edition of the recap with Dare on Idea TV. Just sit back and relax. I'll bring you the full gist after the short break. Stay with us.
Democratize generative AI. Generative AI, which creates new content like text, images, or music, is becoming more accessible. This trend is enabling businesses and individuals to leverage powerful AI tools without needing deep technical expertise. Tools like DALL-E are already transforming marketing, entertainment, and design. However, as generative AI becomes democratized, concerns about copyright infringement and misuse of content are rising.
Welcome back. So now let's start on a very soft note, yes, and on a very happy mood. Do you understand? And it's about VEEKEE James, one of the Nigerian's biggest bridal designers, came online this week and casually dropped baby news on our heads, on our timeline. I mean, as you keep scrolling through your socials, you keep saying VEEKEE James pregnancy announcement, which was a very good one. So there was no long grammar, there was no press conference, just pure vibes, ultrasound photos, baby bump, and that caption that she posted it with, and 2 shall become 3. Honestly, this one was just very sweet to see. There was no drama, there was no much noise, just pure joy. And then VEEKEE James didn't make it a big announcement just like everyone was expecting her to do. She just simply shared her happiness on her own terms. And I think that is a powerful one. In the social media age where women's body are constantly being monitored and speculated on, it is a reminder that you can still be ambitious, you can be career focused, you can be building an empire and still want a family, and still want the softness that it comes with. So the two are not enemies. Yet building an empire, being a career focused woman, doesn't mean you cannot build a family. That is simply the kind of message that VEEKEE James tried to pass us during the week. So you see, like, once you're successful, you must choose between love and work. You don't need to do that. And then she's showing that balance is possible, and that is refreshing. Well, a very big congratulations to VEEKEE James and her husband, FEMI ATERE. Now, let's now move to the story that scattered the internet's timeline this week. Did you see that viral video of Senator Oshiomhole on a private jet allegedly giving a woman a foot massage? Immediately, the internet went detective mood. They went into a detective mood. People were angry, some were mocking him, others were asking serious questions like, how does a public official afford private jet lifestyle in the hard economy? Then boom, Oshiomhole and his camp came out to say that the video is AI generated. This is actually bigger than Oshiomhole or the particular video itself. And what scared me the most in this particular video, in this particular story, is how fast people believed it and how fast it spread. Now, whether it is AI generated or not, one fake clip can destroy someone's image in minutes. That is just the message I got in that particular story. At the same time, the public anger didn't just come from nowhere. People were tired, and people are struggling. To anything that looks like excess from public officials will trigger emotions across social media. So for me, this conversation is two. One, we need to be careful what we believe online. Secondly, leaders need to understand that in a time of hardship, optics matters a lot. Even rumors carry weight because we already have low trust for our leaders in Nigeria. So it is just better they should just be very careful with whatever they put out there or whatever they do out there, because we have cameras everywhere. Now let's breathe a bit and talk about something that's made Africans proud during the week. And it is about TYLA. She just picked up her second Grammy for Best African Music Performance. And at that same ceremony, FELA KUTI was honored. You know, late FELA KUTI, yes, he was honored as well on that very day. That is a lifetime impact. You see, 2 generations, 2 different styles, then global recognition follows. So this one made me very proud. Yes, when I heard it, I won't even lie, seeing TYLA win again shows how far African music have gone globally. But what I loved most in that particular Grammy award was the fact that FELA was being honored at the same event. It felt symbolic, like the word is saying, we see where the sound came from. One is the new wave and the other one is the foundation. But then one thing we should also have in mind is that the fact that TYLA won that Grammy doesn't erase Burna Boy, it doesn't erase Davido, Wizkid, or anybody else. It simply shows that the space is expanding. There is room for everyone. It is also a reminder that while we celebrate new stars, we shouldn't erase the roots. So Afrobeats didn't just appear. People fought cultural battles for the sound to be respected till dates. Now the world is dancing to it. That is growth. That is the growth we are talking about. Now, to a story that hits quietly. I mean, this story hits deeply. And it is about IFUNANYA, a young soprano, IFUNANYA NWANGENE, who died after a snake bite in Abuja. And for people in that classical choir community, it really hits them hard. And then, I mean, it really hurts them. So this story is painful because it is quiet. It is painful, really. There was no celebrity drama, no trending hashtags, just a young woman with talent who lost her life in a very avoidable way. Yes, her death was very, very avoidable. But then this is the kind of healthcare system that we operate on in our country. And it reminds us how fragile life is here and how basic emergencies can turn fatal because systems fail. Snake bites shouldn't be a death sentence in 2026. But then access to fast treatment is still a problem. Sometimes the most important stories are not the loudest ones, I must say. They are the ones that expose how unprotected ordinary people are. I just pray and wish her, and her family, I just pray they get, they recover from this shock, they recover from this loss, and may also rest in peace. Now to the heaviest story of this week. Nearly 200 people killed in attacks across KWARA and KATSINA states. Entire communities scattered, homes were burnt, people missing, and the scary part of this story is that we are getting used to this kind of headlines. But then this kind of story is that one that should make us uncomfortable. I mean, genuinely uncomfortable. Almost 200 people killed, and it is already starting to sound like a normal news, a normal story. That is very dangerous. When violence becomes routine, society starts getting emotionally shut down. Do you understand? But these are real people. These are real families. For me, the scariest part in this story isn't just about the killings here and there. It is how easily we scroll past those stories now. So if we stop being shocked, we stop demanding for change, that is how insecurity becomes permanent in this country. So I just wish our government to do better. Our security personnel are doing all their best to see that lives are secured, or to see how they'll fire back at all these gunmen. But then we are just hoping they do more intelligently to, meet a certain goals, which is to stop killings, especially in the rural area. But then that's where we'll draw the curtain on this week's recap. If any of these stories made you feel